Hello, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly outlook for the sign of Cancer. This is for March 8th to the 15th. And before I get into it, just wanted to let you all know that I'm giving away another Oracle deck this month. It's going to be the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and guidebook set. Beautiful, beautiful animal spirit deck. And my regulars already know that I use this deck for a lot of my readings, certainly for my weeklies. And of course, all you have to do to be eligible to win this deck on my channel is to be a subscriber and to leave me a comment at least once on one of my videos letting me know that you're interested. And on March 31st, I will announce the winner in my usual winner video. Okay, so don't forget to check back on my channel. Don't forget to put on your bell notifications so that you know when to check for that winner video, because of course I'm going to need you to reach out to me by email and give me your address so that I can ship this beautiful deck out to you. All right, Cancer, let's get right into your romance angel messages for this next week coming. Straight out, we have flirt, we have forgiving and learning, and we have chemistry. Very nice. So a lot of good vibes there, a lot of good feelings, certainly when we're talking about our more intimate relationships, Cancer. Let's get into your animal spirits. I'm going to pull those out for you, and then we'll get into your actual spreads. Now, this is the deck that I'm using, is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And one of the reasons I'm giving it away is that this is really a beautiful deck to work with for years to come. All right, the depth of it, the breadth of it, the depth and breadth, as you would say, of it is really quite large and expansive. I mean, there's always something new. There's always something you can learn. And there's always new understandings and realizations that come in from working with this deck. So it's one of my real go-tos, certainly when it comes to an animal spirit oracle deck. And for that reason, I'd like to gift it to one of my lovely subscribers. All right, guys, I'm going to be trying to do these giveaways each month, so please do check back on my channel. Straight out, we have the Dragonfly, Lord of Light and Illusion and the Mind. We have the Golden Egg associated with the 4th chakra, which is the heart chakra. And we have the Tarantula, which is fire energy and associated with the crossroads in life and making a decision going forward. All right, before we go ahead and pull out your actual spreads for the week, let's go ahead and check out these animal spirits. The Dragonfly is associated with the mind and also illusion, right? The Dragonfly is aka considered also the Lord of the mind and the Lord of illusion. Just as the Dragonfly wings seem to be completely well, let's say appear to be completely different from whatever perspective that you're looking at it, right? If I'm looking at the same dragonfly you're looking at, we're going to see two totally different things because of the nature of its wings. And so this is the nature of the essence of the card, to realize that oftentimes what we consider to be a truth, right, that our mind or a perception that we consider to be a truth, it is subjective. It is not an ultimate truth, right? There can be honesty, there can be ultimate honesty, but when we talk about truth, it's very different. And the Lord and the spirit of the Dragonfly is with us at times when we really need to sort of take a step back, right, and realize that maybe not everything that we perceive is as we perceive it to be, to take what we believe to be true as a pinch of salt, and to realize that just like everyone else, we can be mistaken. We can have an interpretation or a perception of something that simply isn't the way it is. Now, the Golden Egg is associated with the heart chakra, which is the 4th chakra. And the Golden Egg is all about warmth and understanding and nurturing, right? This is an alchemical, the alchemical symbol for ether. So this is an animal spirit associated with ether or spirit. And another reason why I love this deck so much, it doesn't only have animal spirits associated with air, water, fire, and earth, but it also has the 5th element, which is ether, and which are associated with the 7 chakras. The Golden Egg is golden because in order to open up our heart, in order to sort of have that expression of our true feelings, we we sometimes need to be vulnerable, right? And we can only be vulnerable in a safe space, right? And warmth, understanding, sensitivity, nurturing, all of these things are what we consider to be warmth, right? To be warm energies. And these are the type of energies that we really need to embrace if we want our hearts to open up. Now, the tarantula is associated with fire. And this animal spirit, it talks about a crossroads, right? It talks about sort of destiny, being at a crossroads, really taking your time to decide what your next step is, because right now you are at a place in your life where the decisions you make have very far reaching consequences, right? And that's what a crossroads is. A crossroads is a time in your life where you have to decide which way are you now going to go. And it's important at times like this to be extremely, attentive, extremely open and aware, to pay attention to everything, to search our own hearts and feelings so that we know we're making the right decision. And for that reason, the tarantula is the animal spirit for that. If you ever see a tarantula in the wild, they are very slow and methodical, right? So you can tell when they move, they're not one of these spiders that sort of move very, very fast. They generally move extremely slowly, and they really, really take their time with each step that they take because, of course, the steps that we take in life have consequences, right? So let's get right into it, Cancer. We're going to pull out your 3 cards. Your 3 forecasts for the week, March 8th to the 15th. And of course, these outlooks are meant to be for different cancers. They're different outlooks, right? So you're probably, if you resonate with one, it'll probably be the only one, or maybe just a portion of one, and that is fine. If this reading is not for you, if none of it makes sense to you, please don't make it fit. It just simply is not for you, all right? So straight out, we have Chariot. That's you. Knight of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. Well, the Chariot is the tarot card for Cancer. So just as an aside for you to know that. But it really doesn't have anything necessarily to do with the zodiac sign in the sense of any prophetic sort of interpretation or anything. It doesn't mean that you're dealing with another Cancer or anything like that. But the Chariot is all about preparing the way. It's all about preparation. It's all about you're about to embark on a new stage in your life, right? You're about to make that crossroads decision, right? And go down a particular path. But before we do that, we want to be prepared for it, don't we? We want to make sure that the path we set out for us is in line with who we are, in line with our spiritual center, our moral code. It is the path that we want to engage on, because once the Chariot gets moving, it's not going to veer off that path. Sometimes the Chariot is considered the card for motion, but a lot of times, most of the time, certainly in the tradition of tarot, you will see that the Chariot is not yet in motion. It has not yet engaged its wheels. It is preparing. And so in this way, the Chariot is this energy of like, ooh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, making sure that everything is in its place so that once it goes where you would like for it to go, right? Now, of course, no one can predict the future because we all have free will and we all have various, infinitesimal little moments in our lives where we make one decision over another. So there's no possible way to predict the future or predict the actual path that you will engage on. But there is something to be said for preparing as much as you can. And this is what the Chariot is all about. Coming into the week with this energy, you're met with the Knight of Pentacles, which is a real feeling, I think. I'm going to say To me, it feels like another individual that you come across who is maybe walking a little bit of the same path or on the same path that you are wishing to engage or to go on. They may have the same sort of destination or focus or goal that you have. Obviously, this is something to do with a career, business, or financial move. And I think this Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's going to give you a lot of inspiration, because the Knight of Pentacles is one of the most, well, in fact, it is the most committed knight in the deck. Oftentimes, it takes a long time for it to reach its goal, but it is absolutely committed and dogged about it and simply will not give up. That is inspiring. Right? And it's very much inspiring, and there's a lot that can be learned from the Knight of Pentacles about remaining focused on your purpose and your goal. And I think this is someone coming in for you this week that's really going to help you with that side of your Chariot energy, right? Your preparations. By the end of the week, though, you do round off with a Four of Pentacles, and I think there is some concern over financial stability. It could be that whatever path you're trying to set out for yourself has some risks involved, and you're worried about those risks, right? But once again, take heed with the Knight of Pentacles in a sense that, you know, whether this is somebody else coming into your life helping you sort of focus your outlook, or whether this is you focusing your outlook on your goals, nothing comes without risk, right? And Four of Pentacles oftentimes is just a fear, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it is proof of anything for sure that's going to happen. It's not proof that you are definitely going to fail, or that the risk is going to be too great, or that your financial stability is going to waver. It is, however, the fear of it. And so just be careful with that, because oftentimes fear of losing things can foster miserliness and greediness, and that's certainly not an energy that we want to have when we're trying to move towards a particular objective, especially in business or in finance. Sometimes worrying over losing ground can cause you to lose ground because you're not willing to carry on, right? You're not willing to take that risk and still move forward. Nevertheless, I think you're really on a good path here with this outlook, Cancer. And I think for some of you, this has been a long time coming, this sort of, I want to say, recommitment to a particular career or business path. 10 of Wands, 7 of Swords, wow, King of Cups. All right, well, some of you are coming into this week really letting go of the burden. The burdens that you've been carrying, some oppression that you've been carrying around with you, it's the end of it, right? You've had enough. You've had enough of being sort of led by your baggage, basically, right? Having your decisions and sort of the moves that you're making in your life being decided by old hang-ups and old baggage. It's time to just let it go. You know, 10 of Wands really indicates a period of time, and you know, up until now, because now, of course, it's completing, but certainly it has been a period of time where you've really had a lot of trials and tribulations, right? You've had a real, you know, you've had a lot of things weighing heavy on you. You've had a lot of things you've been carrying, you know, and it's just become heavy, you know, it's become difficult to make decisions, it's become difficult to move forward, right? And that burden is just too much now, and certainly now you're ready to let it go. Now, these hang-ups could be anything. They can be, you know, attitudes that you hold on to, ways of behaving, modes of interacting with people, right? I want to say, you know, knee-jerk reactions, right? Emotional reactions because of ego or insecurity or low self-esteem, you know, lashing out, you know, things like that. They're just sort of like, they're baggage that we hold on to and a lot of times identify ourselves with. But 10 of Wands talks about that separation, no longer identifying with this baggage or letting it sort of determine who you are and the type of decisions that you make. Coming into the week, you're met with a 7 of Swords, which is the feeling of futility and treachery. Now, this is interesting because just at a time when you're ready to lay down some of the burdens and hangups that you've accumulated, I think part of laying this burden or some of this baggage down really opens your eyes this week. It could be the dragonfly is coming in a lot of ways because it's like there is a realization that perhaps some things the way you've seen certain interactions with people, now I think you're going to see them a little bit more clearly. Before, they may have been a lot more of an illusion as to the type of connection that is there. Letting down the baggage that has really impacted the way you see the world is allowing you to see the world a lot more clearly. And what's happening is that you're finding out that perhaps some people in your life are not to be trusted. I think you're beginning to see the true nature of some of your relationships in your life, and certainly the true nature of some of the people you have in your life, because the Seven of Swords is the thief in the night. It's the dream thief. It's the person who oftentimes is closest to us and on the surface seems to have our back, seems to support us, but behind the scenes works to undermine us, works to stab us in the back, and a lot of times works to covet what we have. You know, this is a very strange energy, this Seven of Swords. It's generally somebody, it can be, it's difficult because a lot of times it's someone who does actually have a certain level of caring for you or a certain level of, I want to say, connection to you, right? You do inspire them. They do, you know, they have feelings for you, but it's a twisted kind of feeling because oftentimes what happens is that they ultimately want to become you, or they ultimately want to have what you have, and they're not willing to work for it. That's what makes them the thief in the night. That's what makes this the card of futility. They're not willing to put the real effort in needed to achieve these things, and so they'd rather take them from you. They'd rather covet it from you. They'd rather sort of stab you in the back and pick up the pieces when you fall. And like I said, oftentimes this is someone that you least expect, because of the nature of the card and the nature of this energy. However, you're opening your eyes to this and you're seeing this. By the end of the week, King of Cups comes in, and I think you're well and truly back on top with regard to having control of your relationships. Certainly being back in charge of the type of relationships you want to have with people, the type of connections you want to have, the type of people you want to be connected to. It could be that for some time, because of that energy you've been carrying around with you and the impact of this energy here from the person who's been sort of, I want to say, sabotaging you to a certain degree, it may have felt like you haven't had much control over the way your relationships have gone or the way they've turned out. Now that your eyes are a bit clearer and you're seeing a bit clearer, I think that you are just embodying your King of Cups again, in the sense that you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what kind of people you want to deal with, and you're moving forward with a lot more sort of emotional health and control. Hierophant, Five of Swords, and the Fool. Well, we have two fives here. Hierophant is the major arcana 5, is the first 5. Second 5, interestingly enough, is the Devil. 15 is the Devil. But with the Hierophant, we talk about getting back to your own status quo, committing to your own sense of order, committing to your own moral and spiritual center, right? For some of you, you're getting back to the traditional way of living, whatever that traditional way is for you, right? You're certainly coming into this week with an increased amount of commitment in a particular area. I'm going to say certainly in an area of your spiritual or moral beliefs, right? And you come into the week with a 5, or you met this week with a 5 of Swords, which is a real power struggle that you're having with someone. You know, this person that you're struggling with is very sort of underhanded. They will use very underhanded sort of behaviors and tactics to win this power struggle that they're in with you. This is a real battle, but it is not an even battle. It's not a battle with someone who plays by the rules. And so there is a decision oftentimes with 5 of Swords to walk away, to concede defeat. Let them have their hollow victory rather than to continue to sort of roll in the mud with them. You know what I mean? And that's the energy here. You decide to just say, Goodbye. I'm done with this power struggle. I really, winning is not that important enough to me. Because first of all, this struggle is stupid. I really don't care about this battle with you. Second of all, just simply continuing to battle with you for the sake of winning, which is what the other person in this battle is doing, simply is not good enough for you. So in this way, you concede defeat. And what happens? A whole new world opens up for you. By the end of the week, you have that full energy and it feels very youthful and fresh, and it feels like there is a whole new sort of awareness coming in for you. Certainly a new stage in your life that you're about to enter into. This is definitely a feeling, I'm going to say, of the spirit of the dragonfly and the tarantula coming in to a certain degree. Also forgiving and learning, understanding, learning a lot from this situation. It's almost as if your recommitment to your moral and spiritual center here is allowing you to walk away from this garbage situation here. And certainly that combination is opening up a whole new sort of chapter in your life, a different chapter, a free chapter. And certainly it feels like a crossroads moment, in a lot of ways. It can be that you may have been engaging in these type of power struggles many times before, but now with this new understanding, the desire to even engage in this kind of battle is behind you. And in this way, you're starting a new stage in your life where you'll never have to really look back or worry about this kind of interaction, because you're over this kind of energy exchange. You don't care about it. You're not there for it. It doesn't help you. You understand that it doesn't help you. You've kind of transcended that part of your ego that keeps you engaged here, and it's a whole new world. All right, my lovely Cancers, March 8th to the 15th. This is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to let me know if you're interested in being in a drawing for the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Like I said, March 31st, I will be announcing the winner by video, so please don't forget to be subscribed, leave me a comment, and hit the bell notification so that you can be notified when that winner video comes out. If you enjoyed my reading, please like it, subscribe to my channel so you can come back and view more, and share it on your social media. All of that really helps me grow. It helps my channel to remain and to increase. It allows me to keep giving away more and more decks, all of that good stuff. But for right now, Cancer, have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week for your weekly outlook. Bye-bye now.